If you navigate to this page in GitHub, you'll see that the amount of rules that exist for you to use is really incredible. The value of Sigma is mainly that it's completely SIM agnostic. Once the logic has been put in here, it can be consumed in any SIM if it has the tool to convert it, and QRadar has a tool, and that's the purpose of today's video, of converting these into QRadar lingo type of rules. Also, the evolution of QRadar, it's going to be all in Sigma and consuming Sigma rules natively without the need for any conversion. Let's actually go into the actual tool that is the subject of this video series. In the previous videos we did the Jara part, and in here I can scroll for quite some time and look at a whole bunch of rules. I can look for CVE, I can look for, I can do Control F and do remote. Let me show all the rules that has remote, and 96 of those. The minute that a vulnerability and attack is discovered, an exploit is discovered, malware is discovered, somebody, probably Fräulein Roth or some of those folks, immediately jumped into creating Sigma rule for your detection. How do I consume those in QRadar? So here I went into the tool under GitHub integration, and I show you how you can navigate that, and you can go different parts of the actual tree and go further down, right? I can click here and you can actually see all the rules, and you can obviously select all, which I wouldn't do, but you can select the rules that you want, and once you do, you can import them both as a AQL searches, and we're going to do that next, as well as a QRadar rule. So what I did is leveraging on the previous videos, I replay some logs that contain a log4j attack, right? Or perhaps better said, that it contains the logs that are produced once there is a log4j attack. And we can actually see those logs. I put the source ID, log source ID identifier for the Apache server that these logs are replaced against, and we can actually see those coming. Now, so in this sea of rules, I want to search for log4j. So Control F, I do log4j, and I find two rules. So let's say that this is the one that I want. So I can click here and import it as an AQL search, and here I have it. Notice that it gives credit to the author of it automatically, and you get that as a false positive. So if you're running vulnerability scanning, this may trigger as well. You can edit it and modify it if you want to, or you can just run scan. Let me do for the last, let me edit the rule and do the last 45 minutes, and then run the scan. And the query is being retrieved. And you can see the progress bar here. And that search is taking a while because I'm going against all the events on all the log sources. But let's wait a little bit until it finishes. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to specify a where clause in which we make it explicit against that log source ID for that Apache server. It's taking a while, almost there. Just finish, and we can see the entry here as expected. It's very similar to in the case of Jara, but this is with precisely with Sigma. Now you can take this search, copy it, paste it, save it as a saved search. You can take it to build a Pulse dashboard. I mean, you can do reports, whatever is it that you want, right? If I add this condition in here to the where, I'm limited to that Apache server, and when I run it, it runs much faster, right? Also, if you go here, you can either paste it or you can upload it from a file. And I put this in the video description under the Nigel directory. I have this rule in here. This is the very same rule. And again, you can convert to SQL. Now we're going to do convert it to a QRadar rule. Let's actually click that. And now you can do here save as a rule, which I already did this in my testing, so I'm not gonna complete it. So you see that the tool is smart enough to tell me, well, that name it's already known. You could change the name in here and click save as a rule, and it will take the duplicated name. But I already have that rule in there. Let's actually go into the traditional rule editor to see that how that rule was created. Several interesting things. So one is that we see the rule here. Notice that I have this tool and I did a video on it that shows the performance of your rules. It's indicating that this rule is not a light one, right? For the environment that I have. So you can tweak this, make it more specific, as we did on the search, put in for a specific log source type and made it better performing. But again, let's click on the rule and see in the rule wizard we have all this logic that you don't want to write from scratch. You may want to modify it, as I mentioned just before, but you don't want to do it. Notice that in the notes it gives credit to the author, and has all the documentation. And this is really bare bones on what you want to do when the rule fire. You basically is dispatching a new event, and you can actually modify these to your convenience. Also, I want to show you that there are some smart options that Nigel put in this app when you import it. So I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to change the name so I can edit it again. When you click save as a rule, well, let me find the options where Nigel allows you to work around existing names. Or actually, I just remember, is when you go from the GitHub integration that you have those options in which you can, when you select a bunch of rules and you click select all or select a group. Let's say that you have your list already curated, and you click here on import on the QRadar rules. There you have those options. Allow me to edit, configure, and set every rule individually, or add all those rules automatically. Okay, which I'm not going to do that. One final thing that I forgot to mention, even in the Jara component, is that there is a good deal of support. Basically, the example that I did with ACAR on Jara is actually shown in here, how you go step by step, and he had a video that shows all those steps being done there. It has no audio. Then, run scan, import the git. So it has a kind of a tutorial for that. Same thing here on the Sigma, right? And on their help and support, he has some useful links where you can see if you want to learn more about Java or Sigma. You can actually do that, and that's for the QRadar app and the specific documentation that comes with the app. Again, I think this is going to be close to your best friend regarding with QRadar. Whenever you get news of a new attacks, exploit, vulnerability, whatever it is, you can go into those pages. You can find either Jara or Sigma or both, and add them into your QRadar. Once IBM release a package that supports those things with some performance, you can replace them. But in order to be quick and to be sure that you are protecting your system the minute that the threat is known, I think this tool is going to be a game changer.